Hey guys, so today we are going to be going through quite possibly the biggest game changer which I have found for my backtesting ever. Okay, so this is introducing Forex Tester 5. Now these guys reached out to me after seeing a couple of my backtesting videos on YouTube, and they asked me effectively to create a review video to give my honest feedback on what I thought about their software. Now, I was a little bit skeptical to begin with. When I first looked at it, I thought, this looks quite old. However, I could not be more wrong. All right, so one, I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity. And two, just to give it in a nutshell, I'm gonna talk you through effectively how to use the software. We're gonna go through all the sorts of bits and pieces, and we're gonna go through and do a little bit of backtesting. But first of all, I just want to explain the core difference with this software compared to what I find with TradingView, and it is the level of detail of data which is supplied. Okay, so with this data, you can go back 20 years in full detail. And by full detail, I mean tick chart data. Phenomenal. Okay, the amount of data for that is insane. Now, the pricing on this, just to go over that really, really quickly, there's a one-off pricing for the software and standard data, and then if you want to, you can pay a monthly fee for tick chart data and for it to be updated every month. So they update all the information every month, okay, as the charts update. So there's that. It's very, very affordable. It's shockingly affordable, actually. And is this a type of software which I would pay for? Absolutely, especially if I was already as an established trader. Even if I was a beginner trader trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, I'm going to show you something in a minute which you cannot do with TradingView, as far as I know, which is really going to make the difference. Okay, so first of all, what we'll do is we'll just walk through what we can see on the screen right now. Then I'm going to load up a new chart, and we're going to jump back to the EURUSD, probably jump back to 2018 and start doing a little bit of backtesting, because what this software does is it logs all of your trades for you. So every entry that you get involved in your backtesting, it literally just records it for you. So wins, losses, and so on and so forth, take profits, it all gets logged down here for you, which is incredible. With TradingView, as far as I know, you've only got forward testing for the data to be able to be recorded. So, this is absolutely phenomenal. And if you want to go back and try and cheat yourself, it's really quite difficult to do. And I'm not going to explain how to do that. But first of all, let's just go through what we can see at the top. Okay, so I'm on the home tab at the moment. And if I press resume, effectively, you're watching the charts as they form. Now, as I mentioned before, they use tick chart data. Okay, that is such an enormous amount of data which is going through the software. You can speed up and slow down the testing speed, but if I slow it down, you can effectively see how the candles are formed during that time frame. Okay, so at the moment we're looking at 2018 0402, and it's just going through the minutes there. So you can see minute by minute on the 15-minute gold chart, this is what happened during that time frame. So you can effectively pause it and say, right, okay, we are 5 minutes before the close of this candle. What is going to happen next? Well, at the moment it's in an upswing. We're looking for a break between there and there, or there and there. What's going to happen next? And you can come to your own conclusion. Okay. Over here on the right, I've got basically like a tools bar. Okay, so you've got your horizontal lines which you can place on there. Just right click and delete, or you can edit and change the color. You can use the polytime, which is effectively this tool. Okay, so the patterns which we're looking for look a little bit like that. And I'm going to show you in a minute probably the best bit which I like about this software, where you can really start to focus on multi-timeframe analysis. Okay, so really, really phenomenal stuff. And also you've got your good old rectangles. Okay, so I always use these. The rest of it I don't really use. The risk reward ratio, that's really cool to put on there. So similar to TradingView if you're used to using that. And also if you don't like the colors, you can change everything as well. But we're not going to go into that level of detail just yet. Okay, so going along here, that's cool. You just press resume, speed up the backtesting if you want to, and it can shoot through. Bar back. So if you've skipped past a bit of data, you can go bar back, bar forward, jump to, and you can change a different type of chart. The time frame as well, if you want to flick through, it's just very standard stuff. And you can decide whether or not you want to place a market order, pending order, and so on and so forth. We're going to cover that in a second when we go into EURUSD. The graphics as well, similar to this, you get all of this. So all the tools that you might want to use. I have made an edit. I've changed the Fibonacci retracement tool effectively to my standard, 100, 75, 50, 25, and 00. Just really, really simple stuff, and I'll show you again or show you in a second how I make use of that. And then if you do use indicators, like I don't like knocking people who use indicators, I just tend not to use them anymore. When I first started out, they were really great, but here's a list of the indicators which these guys have. And again, it's brilliant because it's been updated, literally tick chart data, which is phenomenal. Okay, so by all means, fill your boots, use as many indicators as you want if it's part of your strategy. Also, you've got the crosshairs and crosshairs sync. This will become a little bit more apparent in a few minutes. You can zoom in and zoom out, very similar to effectively how I use CTrader. It's very similar to it actually. If you right click on here, you can get involved with trades, and you can show, you can show your grid, get rid of it, show volume, which are these little green bars down here, and also show news. Now this is crazy. Okay, so this is going back a couple of years ago, and this is effectively showing you the news events and what the results were. I've never known a software to be able to go into this level of detail this far back. This is only, what, 4 years ago? But we can jump back 20 years ago and it will still show you what has happened. It's just a crazy level of detail, okay? Anybody who's sort of used this software or come across this software and kind of dismissed it in the past, I think to an extent they're kind of mad to do so, because this level of detail is unheard of, I would say. Over on the left hand side, we've got the list of symbols. Okay, so at the moment we're only just looking at the gold US dollar, and then you've got the tick chart as well. So if, like me, you like seeing the tick chart go, let's slow this right down. Let's slow it right down so you can see the tick chart working. These are the ticks. Okay, you can see on here it's hardly moving, but the ticks are moving, which is superb. And then further down here we've got the statistics. All right, so the statistics effectively tell you how you're doing in terms of your trading. So for a lot of you who are, going through FTMO and other prop firms and whatnot, the statistics which they keep on your trades are very similar to this. So total number of trades, the number of months processed, days processed, etc., profitable trades, lost trades. There's just more than enough data here for you to be satisfied in terms of gathering the correct level of information which you need while doing your backtesting. Net profit, gross profit. You can also change, I'm going to see if I can do it on here. No, we'll get to it in a second, but you can change the spread which is being applied. Really, just the level of detail. I know I keep on mentioning detail, but this is really a game changer. Over here on the left, the data, look as I scroll over, so it's showing you the time, open, high, close, etc. And then the scripts. If you want to run a bot software, you can do it in there. Okay, so it will show you which script we're using. Down here, we've got the open positions. We'll see in a minute that we'll have an open position. Then we've got our pending orders, account history. So, this is what's happened so far. We opened up a $100,000 account. You've got your journal. So it would literally just go through and it will say, right, okay, you placed a buy limit order right there, and so on and so forth. News events, which is really, really cool. Again, priority, these are all green at the moment. Try and find some red. There we go. There's some red news events. You can probably click into it as well. Yeah, find news on chart. And then notes. If you want to take notes at any point in the chart, you can do that as well. So again, really, really detailed. So that's it on the home section. Let's move into the order section. All right. So you can continue with your chart. All right. I slowed it right down, didn't I? Let's move it back to a normal sort of speed. All right. So you can resume from here if you want to. You can set up market order, pending order, so on and so forth. If we had open positions, we could make use of these things. If you want to group some of your orders, you can do that as well. So a little bit good for organization, and they can change the balance that you've got. So, let's switch it to, I don't know, $1,000, we can add $1,000 to the account, and where is it? Account history, 100,000 went in, an extra 1,000 went in. So now our account balance is 101,000. All right. We could do it if we wanted to. And then you've got your Forex speed up. Not going to click on that because that's another video for another day. Charts. Okay, so let's first of all, before we jump, I'll tell you what, no, we'll keep on going. New chart I'm going to do in a second, all right, when we go into the backtesting, because that is really, really the difference maker. You got your range bar chart, you got your Renko chart if we want to use Renko, which we don't. And then you got your profit chart. So let's say, for example, we got involved in some trades. This will basically show you your equity curve graph, which is really cool. And then you've got all sorts of different chart views which you can use, and the really helpful magnet tool is there as well, which is superb. You can show the volume, show the news, show the notes, etc, etc. All right, and then you've got your chart templates. So like me, well, if you're like me, you can change all the colors on a regular basis. I do it more or less weekly just to keep my brain fresh. I don't like using the same colors over and over, so you can change it up. The desktop, again, you can change the layout. And then you've got your graphic elements, which I went through a little bit before, and then your list of indicators. Again, don't need those at the moment. You can jump to a particular section in chart, which I think I may have just covered. And then also something really, really handy is your screenshot. All right, so you can effectively pick the chart windows only or all programs window. What that means is it takes a screenshot of everything that you can see on the screen. If I choose only the chart window, it will just select literally just the chart. Okay, so I prefer doing this. Save it in the file format that you want, and copy an image to clipboard, etc. Press OK. There we go, it's taken a screenshot. So if I want to go back on my notes, and let's say I've drawn something out on here, I don't know, let's say there was relevance between that and that, and I press take a screenshot, there we go. I can go back into my photos in my computer and be like, right, okay, that's really handy, that happened at that point. And then the windows, we can cascade, horizontal, tile view, etc. And we're going to go into that in a second. Then the chart settings, again, color scheme, you can change everything. It's all just really customizable. May look a little bit older, less computer game-like than TradingView, but I think that is definitely forgiven in terms of literally the level of detail which this goes into. All right, with data, we've got the data center, which is incredible. So these are the main pairs which they cover. All right, there's actually quite a few. I'm going to go a little bit slowly here. So there's quite a few there, and then news events as well, which we might want to cover or might not. You can change the properties as well. So let's just give that a click. So commission per lot, how much commission do we want to charge per lot? Let's make it 6. Apply it to open and close, which, you know what, let's make it 3. And then swaps, how much do we want to put on the swaps? All sorts. You can update the information from the server, you can import, you can export, which is crazy, okay? And then imported tick history, optional. Okay, so when I go through in a minute and we jump into a different chart, which is going to be EURUSD, I'm going to I'm just going to press go, and it will download the live info from their servers. Strategies, list of strategies, all right? So these are some of the basic strategies which you'll find anywhere, but it's actually really good. And you can just install the strategy and just play it out so you can see how profitable it is. And also you can add from a file, which is really cool. So if you find your own one, which is compatible with Forex Tester 5, upload it into here, great. Yeah, you can add your own strategy, like I just mentioned, strategy optimizer. So I don't want to go into major detail with this, but let's say we choose the awesome EMA. You can change kind of bits and pieces about it. I haven't done this before, so this is the first time that I'm ticking through. I don't know, let's go with the 1 hour from date and 2, test parameters, common settings. Okay, you get the gist, but you can basically go in and change it. You can do a quick test, and then easy Forex builder, that jumps through to, I think, onto a website. So we've got that, and then we've got the Windows side of things. We're going to jump into this in a second. All right, so settings, what can we change? Check for updates if you want. Hotkeys, do you want to set some hotkeys? Forwards, backwards, so on and so forth. If you've got MetaTrader 5 set up, or magic keys, you can use the same sort of format. There's just so much that you can change on here. It's incredible. Change the language if English isn't your first language. There's all sorts. Change the sounds. Education as well. So this part was really quite cool. So there's like the how-to guide, which is sort of like a over here this is this, over here this is this. So it literally talk you through how to use the software. And then there's the intro to trading. So there's like the basic courses. I think intermediate and advanced were being updated when I clicked it last. But it's effectively going through a little bit like baby pips and bits and bobs like that. So teaching you really how to trade. All right, and then update your courses. And then in the store, you've got the standard subscription, VIP, so on and so forth, which is really, really good. And then easy Forex builder as well. And then your help part. So video tutorials, if you get stuck with something, there's the video tutorials to help you. There's the FAQs, user guide, which is massive, partnership programs, and so on and so forth. Now, what we're gonna do, I know we're like 15 minutes in, we're going to jump into a new project, okay? So we're going to do a tiny little bit of backtesting. So EURUSD, FX Tester 5 demo. All right, and we are going to deposit, 100 grand. We're going to pretend that we're doing like an FTMO account. All All right, so we're going to select our symbol and we are going to go to EURUSD, which is right here. You can select all if you want to, if you're crazy, but I don't want to do that. From date, we're going to go from here to here. So that is going back just about a month ago. All right, so yeah, it's literally just about a month ago. So we're basically going to be importing 4 years worth of data, and we can use just the minute data if we want to, or we can use the 1 minute and tick data. Now, this is incredible. Let's jump to the advanced settings. So just to see what it says, we can use a floating spread, which is really cool. All right, so it's really, really smart stuff. Generate ticks based on the open, high, low, and close points, or generate ticks randomly based on volume. Go with this one, go with the top one. All right, we're going to press next, and then it's going to check the available history and download it for us. Okay, we're going to look at the time zone, which we're going to go with GMT +0. I think we're +1 at the moment. I'm not entirely sure, but it's yep, going to keep that there. Session close time, that's fine. Daylight savings time, let's just say no. Start testing from the first date in the range, yes. Start testing after creation, yes. Forward testing only mode, no. All right, so create. Here we go. It should start downloading now. Here we go. I'll let you know how long this took in real life. Tell you what, I don't need to, because it literally tells you right there. So I'm just going to speed up the video or skip it. Right then, so it has jumped to effectively the start of that time frame, which was 2018 and April, the start of April. All right, and it's just started running. So I'm just going to move this out of the way slightly and enlarge this. All right, so we're looking at the 1 minute. The 1 minute isn't that good to base your analysis on. So just to go on the basis of how I mark out my charts is typically looking at the daily, the 4 hour, the 15 minute, and the 1 minute. But because I don't want to give too much away, I'm going to use the 1 hour and the 15 minute. All right, so what we do is we go over to charts, add new chart, EURUSD, and it's created another one down there. I want another one as well, and a fourth one. All right, so what we're going to do is we are now going to cascade our charts. Not cascade, sorry. We are going to tile them horizontally like this. All right, so this is effectively how I used to have my charts laid out. I used to actually have 10 charts on one screen, and I would have two screens. So I would have 20 charts running at the same time. All right, that's when I was pretty much starting out for the first couple of years, and I was following a lot more pairs than what I currently do, just following a very, very basic, basically buy and pullback strategy. So break and pullback even. Now, what's the point in having 4M1? Well, I don't like that. So all I'm going to do is I am going to change the time frame. So I'm going to select one of these, okay? And I'm going to select the daily, all right? Then I'm going to select this one. I'm going to select the 4 hour chart. Then this one, I'm going to select the 1 hour, and this one, the 15 minute, all right? So as I mentioned before with the crosshairs, we can crosshair sync, all right? We'll do that in a second when we've got a little bit more data on here. Now, if you select one of these charts, let's say the H1, and we press resume, can you see how over here, the daily and the 4 hour, they're operating pretty much the same, but slightly different. This is literally showing you the data on the 4 hour. This is working its way through the 1 hour, which is cool. And this is working through the 15 minute. So for each one of these to be created, there's going to be 4 of these created. For each one of these, there's got to be 4 over here. And then for this, it's going to be 6 of those, right? Okay, so really, really simple stuff. Let's get some data on the charts. I want to see on the H4 some sort of, I don't know, indication as to where we can start getting involved with a trade. At the moment, that's not enough data for me. I need a little bit more to go by, all right? You know, I'd like to be able to predict the market. There we go, that would do. So simple as that. The daily isn't showing me too much. It's just showing that we're getting a strong sell-off and a rejection from somewhere. We can't see what's behind this because we've only downloaded from 2018. So I'm just going to imagine something's happened over here. I don't really care. But this is a good enough price action for me to say that we've potentially got an order block here to here. All right, so the order block is going to be the last candle. We're just going to use the last rejection candle upwards, and we're going to mark this out. So as you'll notice, all right, let's edit this slightly. If I bring this right the way in, look over on this chart as well. It's just replicating the data, you know, which is superb. All right, so that's going to be our order block. On the daily, doesn't really look like much. On the 1 hour, we might be able to refine this ever so slightly and say that it's going to be that candle there to here. And on the 15, we can now identify potentially reversal pattern. All right, so I'm just going to zoom out on the 15 a little bit just to give us a little bit more of a profile. Okay, so if this is the reversal point potentially, and we're expecting or we're hoping for the market to work its way up like this, create our little reversal pattern, and then work its way back down to preferably just the low of what it's just created, I'm going to say that the order block is likely going to be this candle. And the reason for that, all right, so this is where we're going into the backtesting side of things. All right, just on the 15 minute, there is effectively another order block being created right there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work the data forwards a little bit more and see what we can come up with. All right, I like the speed of this pullback. Now, if you look on the daily, again, it's moving as it should. The 4 hour, we've got a slight pullback. It's nowhere near the size of this drop. And the 15 minute and the 1 hour are effectively showing a very slow pullback. So I'm feeling quite confident to get involved in a trade up here if I can spot something. Now, I'm thinking potentially up here. Now, let's say that we want to get involved just based on the 15 minute. We quite like these candles. All right, so I'm just going to right click here. No, I'm not actually. I am going to get the Fibonacci tool. All right, so I edited the Fibonacci tool and we are going to mark out on here, just like what we do in the normal backtesting videos. And I'm going to select the 50% mark and we are going to set up a sell limit. All right, so we've got 100,000 in the account, which is cool. And on here, we're basically going to measure out, I can't remember how to measure, but we're going to figure out how many pips that we need to go back. All right, so tell you what, we'll edit it in a minute. So we're going to set a sell limit, stop loss of, it's the 15-minute chart, so I'm going to assume it's about 8, so 80 ticks. And our target looks as though it's going to be roughly 200. I'm going to put it on the chart. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this has lined up. I'm just going to calculate this as a risk size of the account. So we're going to go 1% risk, which is what I do on my personal account. And because we can see where this is marked out, I'll tell you what, let's place the order and then change this. All right, so I want the tip of that candle, the tip of this green candle to be the stop loss, and our take profit is to be down here, okay, which is the swing, which is down there. All right, so not too bad, you know, not the best, probably a 1 to 3 or something like that. But just for demonstration purposes, that's what we're going to go with. Let's zoom out a little bit again. All right, if you don't mind, I'm just going to get rid of this Fibonacci tool. So get rid of that, just tidy up the charts a little bit. I could probably do it just literally on that rejection candle there, but we're not going to. We're just going to go with this. All right, so let's resume and just keep on going and see what happens. All right, next day has formed, which is cool. And again, a very slow movement up. There we go. Okay, we're entered into a trade, which is cool. So we're no longer on a pending order, we're on an open position. Now let's just move this out of the way temporarily. We can see that we are in negative at the moment. Oh, and we've been taken out. Not the best of starts. Now, if I'm to redo this and look at it properly and say, right, okay, Paul, why did you do that? This was the order block right here. We should effectively be going from a 50% mark on the actual order block on the 4 hour. So let's go back to the Fibonacci tool. Fibonacci retracement. About there. And we are going to set a sell limit right there. And we're going to use the same parameters as before. I've done the wrong one. Let's find our pending orders and see if we can edit that. I didn't enter my stop loss on the chart, so let's just put that in as 80, put that in as 200. modify the order. Let's put this down to where we're expecting it to go to and put our stop loss exactly there. All right, I'm now just going to get rid of the Fibonacci again. And we're going to go from here. Hope that we get a second opportunity to get involved. All right. Oh, it's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. No, it's gone. I should have entered literally just there. But you can see effectively, just in hindsight, that I should have done what I originally was meant to do. And it's cost me dearly in this case. Let's just move the take profit where it would be to there. But if we want to see, so with this one being an extremely strong sell-off, and we want to monitor what's actually happened in the charts, we can say, right, okay, this was a nice slow pullback. We got a nice rejection wick. And then what happened once we arrived in here as well? We got a nice rejection wick on the 1 hour, and then on the 15 minute, how did the price action react? Okay, so if we zoom in a little bit, see, are there any patterns which we think we can take any knowledge from? Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit, make it cleaner. Use the we want to use the trend line. The low to break is actually here. So we could effectively now say, right, because we're pretty certain that we're going to be going in a downward trend, right? So this is the downward candle on the H4. This is massively engulfing the previous one. We've had the nice rejection, which we should be involved with, but we're not. With this, the nearest sort of pullback, the nearest indecision is actually right here to here. So let's just draw this out with the rectangle just so you guys can see. I'm going to say it is there to there. We're also just going to take a sell order from the 50%. Let's mark on the chart where we're going to be getting involved. Stop loss just above the high. Take profit down where the other one is. And that looks like maybe a 1 to 5, 1 to 6, something like that. Okay, we've got a little bit of catching up to do because we're down 1,300. Okay, doesn't matter. This is just back testing for the sake of it. All right, so let's resume. Let's carry on. We're in, and perfect sell-off. Now, if I wanted to, I could drop down a lower time frame and see if we can get the same kind of reversal pattern again, possibly off of this candle. Which for this purpose I will. Okay, feeling generous. Right, I don't see a reversal. I don't see a decent enough pattern. Let's get rid of this box now, just to tidy it up a little bit. This sell-off is right there. So here to here. And if I say the breaking candle, it is really from that one. So it's actually going to be up here. If we can get in again, why not? Sell limit right there. 80 is probably too far, maybe 30, maybe 3 pips or something like that. Yeah, 3 pips is about right. And then a target of maybe 10 pips, all right? And we're going to be moving that in a second, so we'll make it a little bit better. See how that moved down? Perfect. Right, let's see if we can get lucky with this one. No. However, what did we get? We did get a win. Okay, so the win, 3,500. There we go, we're up. Okay, so we got in on our second opportunity, our second chance. All right, let's move this back to the 15. All right, we missed one of our pending orders, which is a shame. Well, we missed 2, it looks like. But we did get a take profit and we got a loss. All right, that's fine. Next up, let's just clear these off the chart. All right, so let's just delete the order. Don't need these anymore because price has created a new low. And what I mean by that is, let's get the trend line on here. That low has been broken. At least on the H1. On the H4, it has also been broken, but the H4 takes precedence over the H1. So let's get rid of that. And let's mark out on our charts the next candle, which we are intrigued by, and it is this one. Okay, so looking on the H1, we're effectively looking for price to come back up to an area where it's already swept from, which I don't really like the look of. If there is one which we're going to be getting involved with, it's probably going to be this pull down candle. All right, just using experience, probably the base of this to the peak of that, which is going to translate to here. Now let's get the crosshair sync out. So you can see the crosshair is kind of moving across the charts at different intervals. All right, this is really quite handy. So I'm trying to identify up here. You can't see which chart I'm looking at. So the top left chart, I want to see from there to there now on the 15-minute chart, and it is not just one clean sweep, it's actually from this third green candle down. Okay, so let's get rid of the crosshairs for a second. Oh. And I want to mark out a new rectangle, which is there to there, which is really cool. Let's get rid of that one because I'm no longer convinced that it's going to be there. Let's get a new stop limit on. Ooh, 30 is not going to be enough. Let's do 60. Let's do 100. Ticks this is. So 10 pip stop loss, and we're going to, just so we can get it on chart, do 100 pips, place order. We're going to set our target at least down here, all right, for the time being. Let's resume. Oh, we've got a news event coming up. I don't know, somebody speaking, not really interested. Did nothing. And again, similar to the last one which we saw, a nice slow trickle up, okay? I really like this sort of price action. It's probably going to react to something up where I've marked up on the chart, or just drop off. Oh, look at that. So we've been tagged in. Could we have got a better entry on the 1 minute? Maybe. We've been tagged in. Our target is still down here. It's on the low, which is there. Superb. Open positions. We are currently running at 1500 profit, more or less. Let's carry on. 2.5 profit. Oh, it's teasing us. Oh, we could have gone for a re-entry. I knew there was another one right there. Oh well, doesn't matter. We could be in on 2 trades right now. There's another one there as well, but don't worry. There we go, take profit. So how did we do on that one? Account history, we're now on 107,500, which is great. We picked up 5,500 from that one trade, okay? And it also shows us the trades which we got rid of. All right, superb. But yeah, I don't want to go into too much backtesting with this one. I could really go on for hours because I truly love this software. But effectively, this data is incredible, okay? There's no need for me to be keeping a spreadsheet along the side. And if I wanted to, like I mentioned before, we can take a screenshot of all of this. So go over here. If I like this one, say the 15-minute, and I really want to try and figure out what happened with the price action once we reached this order block over here. What happened with this price action? Let's say, for example, we want to drop down to the 1 minute and really study what happened with price, okay? What actually happened? Especially with this one, we got a few opportunities there. What happened with the 1 minute? It was just a spike up. Were there any opportunities to get in early on a smaller, possibly here? We've been stopped out. Get a good entry there. And over here, perfect opportunities. I can see it. You guys will be able to see it if you watch the rest of my backtesting videos. But really, I could go on for absolutely hours doing this. But look, I hope that you've enjoyed the video. I don't want to go into any more of it. I could get carried away. It's 1:20 in the morning. I've got to get up early in the morning now. So look, like I said, there's a link in the description below. It gives you a bit of a discount if you sign up to it. You know, this is a software which I'm going to be alternating, I think, on my videos using Forex Tester 5 and TradingView together. I really love this purely because we've got the backtesting capability with the tick chart data, and we've got multiple charts on here while it monitors our actual performance as well. And the detail level is just superb. All right, so guys, thanks again. I really appreciate it. And yeah, any questions, just stick them in the comments box and I'll be more than happy to help you. Cheers, bye.